Failure is a word that often carries a heavy weight. It's something we are taught to fear, avoid, and even be ashamed of. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that success is the only thing that matters, that winning is the ultimate goal, and that failure is a sign of weakness. But what if I told you that failure is not your enemy? What if I told you that failure is in fact your best friend? The kind of friend who may be brutally honest but always pushes you to be better. Think about it. Every great story, every legendary success, and every inspiring journey has one common factor: failure. No hero ever became a hero without first facing defeat. No champion ever held a trophy without first tasting the bitterness of loss. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the path to success. It is the fire that forges the strongest steel, the storm that prepares the sailor, the struggle that creates the warrior. When I first came to Mumbai, I was an outsider. No film background, no godfather, no big connections. Just a boy with a dream and an unshakable belief in himself. And the city didn't welcome me with open arms. I was rejected for my looks, too ordinary. I was rejected for my acting, too different. I was even rejected for my name, too unfamiliar. Every audition ended in a no. Every door seemed to close in my face, but I didn't let those failures define me. Instead, I embraced them. You see, when life throws rejection at you, you have two choices. Either you sit and cry over it, or you stand up and use it as fuel to move forward. I chose the second option. Every no I heard made me work harder. Every rejection made me refine my skills. Every failure became a stepping stone to something bigger. And slowly, but surely, things started to change. Failure is a mirror. It shows you exactly where you stand, what you need to improve, and how much further you have to go. It is not meant to discourage you, it is meant to prepare you. Imagine if everything in life came easily. If every audition I gave was a success. If every film I did was a blockbuster. If every dream I had was instantly fulfilled. Sounds perfect, right? But in reality, it would be a disaster. Because without failure, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. Without setbacks, there are no comebacks. Think about the biggest names in history. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before he returned and made Apple the giant it is today. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was once told he wasn't good enough to make his high school team. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter manuscript was rejected multiple times before it became the global phenomenon we know today. They all failed, they all stumbled, they all hit rock bottom. But they embraced failure, learned from it, and came back stronger. The problem is not failure itself. The problem is how we look at failure. We see it as a sign of incompetence, a reason to quit, a mark of shame. But in reality, failure is a lesson, a teacher, a necessary phase in every journey. When you fail, don't ask, why me? Instead ask, what can I learn? Don't see it as an end. See it as a beginning. There was a time in my career when I faced one of my biggest failures. A film that I had put my heart and soul into flopped at the box office. Critics wrote me off, fans were disappointed, and suddenly it felt like everything I had built was crumbling. It hurt, but instead of letting that failure break me, I let it teach me. I analyzed what went wrong, I worked on my weaknesses, and I came back stronger. That's what failure does. It gives you a choice to either stay down or rise again. And trust me, the comeback is always greater than the setback. The most important thing to remember is that failure is temporary. It is a phase, not a final destination. Just like a bad scene in a film doesn't define the entire movie, one failure doesn't define your life. The show must go on, and so must you. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who never give up. So my friends, embrace failure like a long-lost friend. Welcome it with open arms, learn from it, grow from it, and let it shape you into the best version of yourself. Because one day, when you stand on the mountaintop of success and look back at your journey, you will realize that every fall, every rejection, every failure was just a stepping stone leading you to greatness. Believing in yourself is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. It is the invisible force that drives people to achieve the impossible, break barriers, and turn dreams into reality. But the real test of self-belief comes when no one else stands by you, when the world questions your abilities, when people laugh at your dreams, and when every voice around you tells you that you are not good enough. That is when you must stand tall, look in the mirror, and remind yourself, I believe in me, and that is enough. Every successful person, every legend, every game changer in history has faced doubt, not just from the world, but sometimes even from their own families, friends, and closest people. Yet, they succeeded not because of external validation, but because of internal conviction. They knew who they were, what they wanted, and most importantly, they never let the noise of the world drown their own voice. When I came to Mumbai, I was just a regular guy with big dreams. No famous last name, no connections, no industry godfather to make things easy for me. I wasn't tall enough. I wasn't traditionally good looking by Bollywood standards. And my background in theater and television made many filmmakers dismiss me before I even got a chance to prove myself. People told me that I didn't fit the image of a romantic hero, that I lacked the charm and looks required for mainstream cinema. Some even advised me to go back to Delhi and choose a safer career. But I had one thing, an unshakable belief in myself. I didn't wait for someone else to validate my dreams. I knew I had something to offer. I knew that if I worked hard, if I kept learning, if I never gave up, I would make it. And so I did. This is not just my story. It is the story of countless people who dared to believe in themselves when no one else did. Think of Thomas Edison, who was told he was too stupid to learn anything. Think of Oprah Winfrey, who was fired from her first television job and told she was unfit for TV. Think of Walt Disney, whose first company went bankrupt and whose ideas were rejected over and over. The world doubted them, but they never doubted themselves. And that is why they changed history. Believing in yourself is not about arrogance, it is about knowing your worth. The world will always have opinions. Some people will doubt you because they don't see your vision. Others will discourage you because they are afraid of their own limitations. And then there are those who will simply not understand your journey because it is not theirs to understand. But that should never stop you from moving forward. Self-belief does not mean that you won't have moments of fear, insecurity, or failure. You will. There will be days when you question yourself, when you feel like giving up, when the weight of rejection feels too heavy to carry. In those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the fire inside you, the passion that made you dream in the first place. I remember when I was shooting for one of my films and things weren't going well. The pressure was immense. The expectations were high. And suddenly, I started doubting myself. Maybe they were right. Maybe I wasn't good enough. But then I stopped and asked myself, why did I come here? What do I love about this? And the answer was simple. I love acting, I love cinema, I love storytelling. That realization was enough to push me forward. Because at the end of the day, self-belief is not about always knowing you will succeed. It is about always being willing to try no matter the odds. Many times in life, you will find yourself standing alone with nothing but your dreams. People may walk away, opportunities may slip through your fingers, and failures may try to shake your confidence. But in those moments, the only thing that will keep you going is your own belief. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, your own support system, your own source of motivation. Success is not given to those who wait for approval. It is given to those who take risks despite the disappointment. The world only claps once you've won, but the real champions are the ones who keep going even when no one is watching, even when no one believes in them. So never wait for the world to recognize your worth. Recognize it yourself. Hold on to your dreams even when they seem out of reach. Trust your journey even when the road is rough. And most importantly, believe in yourself even when no one else does. Because one day, the same people who doubted you will look up and say, "We always knew you could do it."